Hello everybody and welcome on my YouTube channel. You are with Alandris. I promised you last week one surprise and here it's coming. In according to your question, I decided to propose for you a different kind of top 5 to answer for your main question on which hero I have to invest or not. So it will be top 5 for tank, top 5 for magical DPS, physical DPS, and top 5 for support in first time. If I have some other ID, I will add it in the future. This top 5 will be only with hero who are already released in the game. I will not speak about VIP hero inside this top 5. Second things, mainly it will be for high level, sorry for low level player. I can treat all in one topic. It's little difficult, so perhaps in the future, why not, and in according for sure to the actual metagame. So today our attention will be about the tank. Let's begin first of all by the list of the tanks that we have actually in the game and the explanation for me why it's tank and what is a tank in the game. Here is my list of heroes that we can consider as tank, off-tank or pseudo-tank, because for some of them they are so bad that I don't even know if we can tell that they are tank. For the technical information that I will give you right now, if your tank doesn't have a good maximum of HP, doesn't have good armor or doesn't have magical armor good, every time that he will try to cast, he will be interrupted during his animation cast and he will not do nothing. Even if he has 10 skill, he will not do nothing. Well, it's not exist 10 skill, but it's for the example. That's why I will not focus my attention of all the heroes who are there. We know in this list, and you know on this list, that it's some of the heroes who are crazy useless. If I speak, for example, Iron Dragon, you can take him, put in the garbage actually, and it will be the best place that he can take. For some other heroes, they can be really good in PvE, but not in PvP. But this one, if you have time and the gear to upgrade them, why not? It's the case, for example, of Psychopath or Savage One. It's two heroes who are not bad, really not bad in PvA. For example, Psychopath for Portal is interesting. Savage One for some record in red is really interesting. But it's not right now what we are looking for. Now we are looking for heroes who are really interesting, main for PvP, and if they are good also for PvP, it will be great. I take in consideration 4 points. First point, survivability of the hero. Second point, the damage that he can deal or not. The third point, his capacity, the skills that he has, and finally the vulnerability of this hero, because perhaps it's a hero with strong against all, perhaps it's a hero with strong against physical damage and weak against magical damage, or so on. You understand what I mean. So we will begin right now this top 5 by the 5 position. In 5 position of my classement we have Devastator. If we have a look on his statistic, we can see that this hero has nearly 60k of HP, armor of 722 and magical resistance a little more than 420. He doesn't have a really high defensive skill. He has only the shield who protect him for the crown control. It's not bad, but you need some RNG that make it work. Call of the Ancestor, his ultimate is there for dealing ROE damage on the enemy team. Hammer Bash is the knockback on the frontline midline hero, deal also good amount of damage. And Continuous Fury, it's damage oriented, because every time he casts one of his skill, he will get 50% of attack speed more. Let's see in fight how it's going on. For the first fight, I ask to my colleague specific team, and I want to show you the advantage of Devastator, how he can bring a lot of damage in a short time and push the team in the end of the screen. And finally, in the proper team, all the other heroes are pushing too, and the damage are really high and really fast. 30 seconds of fight, it's just corrupted angel who are alive. And my team didn't get nothing because all the other hero was knockback or stun. If we check the damage, we can see that he do 85k of damage in 30 seconds, because after 30 seconds it was only corrupted angel. So it's pretty high for tank, and I will show you in second example what can happen too. Another situation where Devastator is really helpful, it's when you have a really high defensive setup in front of you without Turtle Fighter, because for sure Turtle Fighter is really bad for Devastator, but when you don't have him, you can stack the enemy team in the end of the screen and get this kind of result that you are watching right now. They are nearly blocked in the end left corner of the screen. For sure, other heroes are helping too. It's not one hero who will do all the fight, but Devastator is pretty interesting in this kind of fight. You can pair him with a lot of other heroes who are dealing damage when enemies are stacked. For example, you have Sorceress now as VIP, you have Amber Blade with one possibility, and the results are really amazing. And if we watch the statistic of the fight, 155k damage for the tank. Okay, it was a defensive setup. We have some other tank who are able to do it, like Elder Giant for example, but it's not a lot of tank who are able to deal this amount of damage. Last example that I want to show you is about the problems that can happen with Devastator. For the last example, I want to show you the problem with Devastator. The main problem for me is it can be destroyed really quickly, and in some of the team who are little aggressive, this tank will not be able to survive after the rush of the enemy damage. We can see that if we take now this shot plus the ultimate or dwarf or the ultimate of Imperial Executioner, he will die. It's what will happen now, and he didn't do nothing interesting. So the solution, you have solution for sure. You can pair him with another healer like Cleric, like a Soul Hunter behind, to give him more survivability, or you can use him in a team who will have a lot of control for the enemy team with Silencer or something else. The best things, I think, is to pair him with the healer or to put him in a really aggressive team. And last point, this hero is strong only when he's complete. If you try to use him level 100 with red or orange 2 stuff against other heroes who are red 1 in your metagame, you will die 100%, he will be totally useless. We will see the final statistic of the fight. In this fight, Devastator did only 32k damage. It was normal because he died quickly, like I told. We will see now the strength and the weakness of this hero. So why Devastator is really interesting in some word? First of all, I hope that you saw in the fight that he is able to deal a really good amount of damage in according to his skill, because his ultimate skill is Hammer Bash do damage, and it's really interesting with his 4th skill that he casts really quickly. Second important point for him is the knockback, who is able to push the team in one point and can be exploited by some other hero like Sorceress, Amber Blade, or some other hero who has our damage in short range. And last point is shield, who is able to protect him for ground control, even if this skill is needs some RNG, because sometimes it's not work in the good moment. Let's see now the weakness of this hero. This hero in my thinking has two weakness. First one, you saw it in the fight, it's his capacity to die quickly. In according to his skill, he doesn't have really high defensive skill except it's the shield who protect him for the ground control, but not from the damage, so he doesn't have other damage reduction than his armor, physical armor and magical armor, and his physical armor and magical armor are not so high, and he has only 25 dodge rate, so it's not crazy height, it's not nothing, but it's not crazy height. And the last second point and last point for his weakness is the cast time of this skill, who is really long, and he can get interrupt when he try to cast it. He doesn't do any damage when he cast it, and it's I think, okay, every hero need to have weakness, but in my thinking it's too long in according of the importance of the skill. It's not ultimate, it's not a crazy skill who will decide for the destiny of the game. It's just a shield to protect him for ground control, so it's a little long. So it's the reason why this hero is 5 on my top 5 tank, and let's now to see the 4th hero in my classement. So in 4th position of my classement we have Depth Voice. So why I choose to put her in this classement, because usually it's more off tank than tank. I will explain you my choice right now. So first of all, a statistic, we can see that she doesn't have crazy much HP for tank, because actually she has something like 40k, and when she is full gear red 1 she will be 45k, so it's not really high. She has armor actually low, because I don't have her red 1, but her armor will be 710 when she will be full, so it's not so bad in armor. Her magical resistance will be bad anyway, because her magical resistance will be 360 when she will be full gear, and this is not that amazing. But why she is so interesting, it's because of the dodge score. We can see that she has right now something like 170 of avoidance, and this number is crazy high. Also skill help her a lot to survive as tank, because of her legendary skill, who will create one clone, one mirror every time that she dodge. You have little internal cooldown for this skill, something like 5-6 seconds during the time that she can't put up another clone, but it's already really good. Her 4th skill is avoidance, so it's already included in what I show you. 3rd skill is one snare, who is really useful. We will see after in the fight why it's a really useful skill. 1 hour damage, who is not bad, really. He touch nearly the back line, not exactly, but the first and second line are touch, and the damage are pretty correct. And 1 crown control for mass crown control, who will be a thing who will make sleep all the enemy team. So we'll see now in fight why I like her so much. I want to show you different kind of situations. So in the first situation, it's full physical team in front of her. She is in front line, and you can see that her dodge rate make her avoid a quantity of attack really crazy. Every time you see dodge, it's dodge, and she dodge. It's really crazy, and that's why she's in my classement as tank. Because when you meet, even if it's not crazy popular actually, when you meet team who has mainly physical DPS, you can use her as a tank without to put someone in front of her, and she will do the job really well. I think it's my thinking, but I think it's the best tank for physical damage. Against the rest, overall and all, she's in 4th position, because she has a lot of problem that we will see in the second fight to manage other kind of DPS. we will see the statistic of this fight. So also 76k damage, it's not bad, it's not that amazing, but it's not bad at all. So let's see now the second fight. For the second fight, what I want to show you is the weakness of the voice. Unfortunately, if you have in front of magical damage and some control, she will die pretty quickly. We can see with Imperial Executioner that she get nuked nearly in one shot. Remember that she has 44k HP at Red 1, 5 stars. So 42k with her ultimate, he will kill her nearly every time because she will not. She will lose already 2k HP when he will ultimate. We can see now the statistic of the fight. Won't be so crazy interesting, but she didn't do nothing and she didn't get his role of tank. We will see now the last possibility when it's really interesting to use Depth Voice. Last team that I want to show you is the combination with Turtle Fighter. We can use one trick, it's one trick that make Turtle Fighter enemy going in the wrong way. You see what's happened, and now we will take one advantage for the fight because of her, who will be amazing, and our opponent will never come back in the fight. For make work this trick, you need that the enemy team get backline, and you need to don't use backline in your side. That's why I use Chemist and Imperial Executioner, and in this side he has Manipulator, so the trick is working well. We see that she make appear some clone, and these clones are really useful because they absorb some damage. The target for this fight is not that Depth Voice do damage, it's she has the control of the fight, and even now with the thing, she gives the victory. Let's see the statistic. So statistic of the fight, like I told, she didn't deal so much damage, but it was not the target of the fight. She controls the battleground, she make going Turtle Fighter in the wrong way, so it's good point, and we win this fight. Let's now see the point of the strength and the weakness of Depth Voice. We can resume the strengths of Depth Voice in some points. So first of all is good control. She can be used as off tank like we saw with Turtle Fighter, or like tank. And like tank, if it's against a physical team, for sure, she will get control of the damage with her clone. She will get control of the people with her net, and she will get control of the people with her singing. And second point, it's her height avoidance, who is crazy interesting because of that you will forget her low pool of HP and make her really and give her really high survivability against all with not magical damage. Let's see now her weakness. The weakness of Depth Voice in 2 points. So first point for me is her magical resistance. I showed you during the fight that she can be nuked in nearly one shot by nuker hero like Imperial Executioner, who is in the metagame everywhere, and even Amber Star can kill her in one shot. So it's one bad point, and it's go for the second point with not so good. It's a pool of HP. When you have one Dwarf Warrior with 70k HP who takes 30k damage, he still have a lot of HP after that. When you have Depth Voice who get nuke, she die because if she get 40-45k damage and have around 44k HP in level maximal and with all the gear of the game, it will be not enough to survive. That's why she is my fourth in the classement of the tank. Let's now see who is in third position. For the Lord! In third position of my classement we have Cross Knight. So first of all we look his statistics. So I have him at orange 2, but his statistic, I will give the statistic for you when he's red 1. So when he's red 1, his maximum of HP is 67, his armor class is 858, his magical resistance is 522. He doesn't have any dodge rate, and he has a classical under control time reduced by 35%. About his skill now, so he has 4 skill, he's not legendary for the moment, and it's a defensive skill. Absolute defense will reduce incoming damage by 60%. We have a Warcry battle shot who increase his armor by 600 and also taunt all the enemy, force them to attack him. We have Bash, it's a hit with the shield who will stun the enemy, one enemy, and we have his ultimate with its activate who will reduce all incoming damage by 90% during some second. I asked one of my friends who has him at Red 1 to send me some duels that we will see right now how it's going on during the fight. First fight, Cross Knight is supported by Soul Hunter, who will heal him really good, and we will see what he can do, if he can hold or not. So he's not lucky because I use specially Imperial Executioner in front, who will steal his energy, and don't let him activate his ultimate. The taunt is really useful, like you saw, because when someone is taunt, he can't activate any of his skill. He can just hit normal by a white attack. He activates his ultimate, and during his ultimate, Fallen Dominion hit at 500. He get nearly no damage. And finally he die. We will see the statistic of the fight in some seconds. Even if he die, he give us good advantage because, like you saw, it's difficult to kill him. Long time to kill him, even with a nuker. So he didn't deal any damage, but this we will see later that it's one of his bad points. And let's see now the second fight in another situation. For the second fight, he is in a situation against one Turtle Fighter team with Silencer, and what I want to show you in this composition, it's impact of Silencer against him, because this hero, all his shot, all his attack are physical, but all his skill are activate like magical. For example, the battle cry and all. If he's silenced, he can't do anything. And Silencer, for this, he reduces energy, he reduces all, and this hero is not able to do what he could do. And in this situation, even with sorcerers behind, they was totally under control, and this team didn't do damage. It's one of the weakness. We will see the statistic. 9k damage, and all the team was under control. We will see now the last combination that I proposed. I want to show you this last possibility, how to use Cross Knight. How to use his stone, because for example, if some people use against you Sapper, against you Ninja, his taunt will be really useful because he taunt all the battlefield, and he will remove and protect the backline with his Warcry. Even in this case, we will perhaps lost, because of this lucky shot of Hidden Needle. But look, Hidden Needle will hit his ultimate, and finally she do really not so much damage than what she must do usually. He kill even Hidden Needle, activate second time his ultimate. 56. I make the choice to didn't take this hero for myself at Red 1 because I have already a lot of tank, but I really like him much. The statistic of the fight, so in this fight. It's not so relevant, but we see that it didn't do so much damage, and we will now interest ourselves about the strengths and weakness of Cross Knight. For Cross Knight, 3 important points for his strength. First one is resistance. You saw that it's really difficult to kill, and especially if he has healer behind him, he will be really resistant. Second point, it's his taunt. It's linked directly for the skill, but he's able to protect the backline by his taunt and to mess the composition of the enemy team, and it's a really interesting skill. And last thing is little, but he can stun. He has crowd control skill, so for one tank it's always good to have some crowd control. Let's see now about his weakness. For the weakness of Cross Knight, I see 3 points in my thinking. First of all, he doesn't have any avoidance, so it means he will receive 100% of the hit during the fight. Okay, he will have mitigation for this damage, so it will be not 100%, but he will receive 100% of the damage. Second point is his weakness against the silence. If you have heroes who are able to silence him for a long time, sometimes he will not do anything good during all the fight and just receive the hit like a wall. And last point, it's the most important, this tank is really weak in damage. He will not do any damage. Like you saw, when he do 20k of damage, it's a miracle, and you can put some monument on his face for this. It's defensive tank. So that's why he is in my 3rd position in my classement. Let's now go to the second one.
Right, you go further!
In 2nd position of my classement, here is Dwarf Warrior legendary. Till his legendary skill has been released, he gets a really good position in the actual metagame. We can see his statistic right now. So he has 70k HP, nearly 1000 of armor and 500 of magical resistance. I think this line is bugged because under control time reduced by 70% must be 35, but actually it's like that, and he has dodge 25, so little dodge, but he has dodge. For his skill now, if we begin by the legendary skill, every time Dwarf Warrior lose some HP, he get one shield who give him a shield of 11,000 damage, and most important, he get insensitive for all control. He can be polymorph, he can be stun, he can be all during this shield is activated. So the legendary skill is really strong. The 4th skill is increase of 300 of strength, so nothing crazy. This one is little random skill. He will drink one drink, and every time he will get 11,000 HP, or 248 energy, or 3000 damage, or 600 armor. Second skill is armor plus 600 and magical 600. It's just in the beginning of the fight when you will rush. And his ultimate is one good hit on one target will deal 15k damage. So this hero is balance-oriented attack and defense. We will see now how it works during the fight. In this first duel, what I want to show you in the right side, the famous stall team, timeout team, and with Dwarf Warrior for sure. And you can see in this replay that Dwarf Warrior is strong, this team is strong, but can be raped by one of the solutions that my friend proposes there. So it's in one replay, 2 good things. You see the useful of Dwarf Warrior, and you see how to counter this timeout team. It's not the best way in my thinking, but it's working. Dwarf Warrior with his shield is really strong. You saw that he absorbs the ultimate of Sorceress, and even didn't lost any energy. and he die. So if we see the replay, we see that he is able to deal some damage. 76k. It's not bad. Sure, in according to the really offensive team, the difference is big, but don't forget that Dwarf Warrior is a tank. Let's see second try with the same team. I want to show you another possibility. It's one little bonus for people who was asking me. So this one doesn't show something else than the first, but it's another solution to kill timeout team. Another time it exists now that Sorceress is out for VIP. This timeout team are not the main problem that it could exist 2-3 weeks ago before Sorceress. For non-VIP player, it's still one problem, I understand, but you have some other solutions that I proposed in other video. But in some month, this problem will disappear. Don't worry. Other times this team, in my meaning, is not the best one. I prefer some other setup with Commander instead of Griffin. She's better in mono target, and the problem is to kill Dwarf Warrior, is not to kill other hero. We will finish just in time, and he get lucky. He drink. You saw that he drink with his second skill the plus 15k HP, and finally he die at 1 second for the hand. If we see the statistic, 100k damage. Another time it's not bad for tank. And let's see now the last try in a command team, more command team for Dwarf Warrior. Last example that I want to show you for Dwarf Warrior is my team from Grand Arena, who is in the right side. So it's a little strange team out of the actual metagame, if we can tell, because I use Disease Bringer that not so much are using, and you will see why he's really strong and why Dwarf Warrior pair with him. It's a really good thing. This team is pretty interesting because you have a Dwarf Warrior in front who will take all damage on the face. Normally, in this case, Commander go in front of him, and when Dwarf Warrior will go down in the life, you will have Disease Bringer who will give him life, and he will grown up another time, and his shield will be activated ad vitam aeternam, like we can tell. He deal also good mono target damage. And now we have a Dwarf Warrior for enemy team, and I will not be able, I think, to kill him in 20 seconds because I don't have any nuker. But if you have the same situation in Grand Arena, you will win. The Golem of Disease Bringer is also strong. You see, he can take all the ultimate in the face instead of other hero. And if we see the damage, we can see that the two Dwarf Warrior deal some kind of damage interesting for tank. Mine was not so great because it didn't ultimate so much because of a commander who was in front of him, but it's not happen all the time. This amount of damage is correct and it's not bad for tank. It's now time to check the strength and the weakness of Dwarf Warrior. So if we check finally Dwarf Warrior strength, what we can tell is extremely resistant. Due to his legendary skill, he gets a shield who make him resistant for ground control a lot of time during the fight. No stun, no polymorph, no steal of energy, no silence, nothing. So it's a really interesting tank for this side, and he's able to deal correct amount of damage in mono targets. So this is for the strength. Let's see now the weakness. For Dwarf Warrior weakness, it's difficult to find something. I will tell you the truth. One thing he doesn't have any crown control. It's a hero who can take the damage on the face, who can deal some damage, but he doesn't have a spell to disable the enemy. Perhaps fortunately, but why not? He doesn't have so he doesn't have crown control, and his damage, most of them are for one target, are mono target. But excepted that, it's a really good tank, and it's the reason why he's in second position. We will now see who is the winner.
Now you made me angry.
It's now time to discover the winner of this top 5 tank, and without surprise, it's Turtle Fighter. Turtle Fighter, why is in this position? First of all, let's check his statistics. So don't forget that for me, Turtle Fighter is red. He's red by choice, because actually, if we see my Turtle Fighter, he has 57k of HP. He has armor nearly 700 and magical resistance 580. So these statistics are interesting, and if you put him as red one, he will get little more HP, 62, so okay, he get nearly 5k of HP, it's interesting. He will get little more armor, more 70 armor more than what he has now, and he will lost 150 magical resistance. And for this point, it's a big problem in my thinking. That's why I decide to let him red now and don't put him red one. When the red 2 gear will be released in some week, some month, I don't know exactly, because it's already announced. It will be time to grown up him, but actually he will stay like that. He has 75 dodge rate, so it's interesting dodge rate. It's really good statistic, and if we can see now his skill. This hero for me is crazy, because let's begin by the ultimate, who is, I think, the most bad skill. I don't tell it's bad, it's the most bad of all he has, because he will taunt one target, and this target will have armor reduced by 450. So it's not bad, sure, but it's not amazing in according to his other skill. So rolling stampede, it's a skill who will make him roll in the other side of the screen, in the enemy who is the more far in according to his position. So it's possible to trick him, fortunately, but if we don't trick him, he will stun all enemies that he cross, and he will blind them in according to the fourth skill. So it's strong, and last skill, return, will give back a percentage of damage that he receives, and he will get more of this, plus 600 armor. So we will have one hero with more than 1300 armor, who give back 80% of the physical damage that he receives. Let's see now how it works in the fight. Here is my example with Turtle Fighter. I will show you only one fight with Turtle Fighter. I know it's existing already so much team with Turtle Fighter, but actually it's the team that I use in the right side of the screen in Arena. This team has a pretty high ratio, more than 95% till 1 week. So if you want to try this team, if you can try it, you will see that it's pretty interesting. Turtle Fighter is going one side, going another side, going one side during all the fight. It's blind all the people that he cross, it's stun, so interrupt. It's messing the organization of the enemy team. That's why it's so popular now, and in Arena, I will not lie to you, it's actually only one hero that you can use if you want to have a good result. Let's see the statistic. So not so much damage, Turtle Fighter fortunately doesn't do crazy damage, but all the other quality she has, or he has, because it's on, and I will now see which strength he has and which weakness he has. So let's begin by the list of the strength of Turtle Fighter, this totally imbalanced hero. So first of all, he messes the team enemy composition. Second, he is difficult to kill. Why? Because he has dodge, invulnerability and big amount of HP. And third, he is able to crowd control the team, stun, taunt and blind. So it's perfect. They put all what they find, the developers, and put it inside this amazing tank. Let's see now his weakness. It's now time to try to find some weakness to Turtle Fighter, and I want to tell that it's really difficult because excepted the magical resistance in Red 1, this hero doesn't have any weakness actually, and that's why he's used in 100% of the team in top 30 in Arena, and this in every server. People are not stupid for sure, but it's pity in my meaning that we have actually one hero with nearly all in the game: stun, blind, stoned, invulnerability, avoidance, change the enemy configuration, and in another side we have a crazy quantity of tanks who are not possible to use because they are so bad that I want to throw away when I see them. So it's I hope that Yukul will do something, even if I don't believe it so much. I really hope that they could give some diversity in the game. So don't hesitate in the forum to tell them that this hero is totally imbalanced in according to the other hero who do the same things right now. You saw that even a Dwarf Warrior who is crazy good is totally far than Turtle Fighter. So it's now time to conclude this top 5, and we'll see what we can tell. To conclude, I want to tell that this top 5 is my top 5, and that you can have another thinking for sure about this topic of tank. Don't hesitate to react on the video or on the forum. You see that I'm really active, if you know me, on the forum, and I try to make move something in this game. That's why I'm doing this video till now nearly 2 months. I hope you enjoy. I see that you are more and more every day to follow me on YouTube, and I'm totally happy about that. Don't hesitate to like the video and to subscribe if you discover this channel. A lot of interesting stuff will come in the future. The review will continue, the pimp episode will continue, and also some top 5. Now I think we are really close to the major update in this game. I don't know, but I think in 1 month something really interesting will come with chapter 19 and with portal 9. Perhaps I do mistakes, but I'm really think in this way. Don't hesitate to follow the actuality of Hero Charge, not only of my channel in my Facebook page. It's a little more active than the official Facebook page of Hero Charge. I tell you bye bye everyone, and thank you for watching another time.